Hey YouTube, it's Icy, and welcome to the 77th episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors. So we've covered the iPad 3 a lot lately on Best Tech Info and in this series, Best Tech Info and Rumors, and we're finally on the verge of seeing the iPad 3, so it's right around the corner, and Apple actually sent out invitations to their media event to select members of the press, and the invitation is extremely simple. So it just has what appears to be an iPad with someone's finger touching the calendar application, which could only be the dock on the iPad, and in the dock, there's also a Maps application and a Keynotes application. So those two things in combination with the calendar suggests that Apple will hold a keynote presentation during their media event on March 7th. And the tagline of the invitation reads, "We have something you really have to see and touch." So obviously all of those things just leads to the conclusion that they will be unveiling the next generation iPad 3 at their media event. Also, when you look at the picture, you can't help but notice that the screen looks incredible, and this is most likely because it will feature a Retina display, which is a display that will have approximately 4 times the pixel density of that of its predecessor. So we're talking about a super high quality display here on the next generation iPad, and this invitation just backs up that theory even further. Now, it's been confirmed that the event will take place at Yerba Buena Center for the Arts in San Francisco, California, and Apple is already preparing the center for their March 7th media event. And we know this because Mac Stories actually posted pictures of the center being prepared. Also, building on that, 2 days before the invitations were sent out, so on the 26th of February, we received reports that Apple is actually already shipping out next generation iPads to the United States directly from Foxconn in China. And the reports come in the form of a shipping manifest that was actually posted on a Chinese microblogging site that's somewhat similar to Twitter. And these reports actually seem fairly accurate, and it would match up with the timeline for the release of the iPad 3. And of course, I will have live coverage on the 7th for the iPad 3 unveiling event on my website, besttechinfo.com, so just be sure to check it out on the 7th. The event does start at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so just make sure you're on my site on the 7th if you want to be one of the first people to learn about the iPad 3 or the next generation iPad and all of its awesome features. And of course, after the event, I will be creating a summary video that I will post here. Moving on, Microsoft actually released Windows 8 Consumer Preview the other day, and it's almost finalized. However, there are still a couple of things that they have to work out, so they opened it up to the public, and everyone is allowed to download it for free, and users who download the Consumer Preview will actually be able to easily upgrade from the version of Windows that they're on. And if the user's version of Windows is too outdated and they cannot simply upgrade while keeping all of their files, then they will have the option to create a disk file or a bootable USB drive that they'll be able to use to actually install Windows 8. And when Microsoft was announcing the consumer preview of Windows 8, they were extremely focused on its versatility, so it is able to run on really low-end computers all the way up to extremely high-end computers, and obviously that means it will work on mid-range computers as well, and it will even work on tablets. So again, this new operating system practically works on everything, and it actually works really well. I like it. However, I still like OS X a lot better than Windows 8, but I've got to say Microsoft is starting to take a step in the right direction. Even though it looks like it's heavily focused on the tablet side, I've got to say the new Metro interface, Metro applications, and the new redesigned start page are really nice additions to Windows, and you wouldn't think that they'd fit in and be practical, but they are. And I actually did an overview video of Windows 8 Consumer Preview, and I just uploaded it today before this video, so if you guys want to see that, you can check it out. I'll have a link to it down below in the more info. Also, AT&T updated their data throttling policy. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, prior to this new update to AT&T's policy, they were actually throttling unlimited users. And basically what that means is they're slowing the speeds that users can download at with their smartphone over 3G or even 4G LTE. And again, prior to this new change in their policy, this information wasn't publicly available. However, now they have a page that's simply dedicated to data throttling, and it explains it really well, and it's on the post that's on my website. That's down below in more info. So if you want more information on AT&T's new data throttling throttling policy, then you can check it out there. But just for a brief summary, they will now throttle 3G, HSPA, and HSPA Plus users who go over 3 gigabytes worth of data per month, and they'll throttle 4G LTE users who go over 5 gigabytes of data usage in a single month. And finally, Apple released a new iPhone 4S commercial, which is kind of a breath of fresh air because lately all of their iPhone commercials have been focused on Siri. However, this one is focused on iCloud, and it's really nice, and I'll have a link to that down below in the more info, as well as everything else I discussed in today's episode. And if you want to be updated more often, just be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified every time I release a new video. And don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and add me to one of your circles inside of Google+. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.